What's going on, guys? It's natural junior bodybuilder Nick Wright. Now check it out. All of you who've been following my progress over the years and subscribed to my channel have watched me progress, and you guys know that my weak points have been my shoulders and my chest. Now my chest is just a genetic setback. That's something I'm working on. That's a different story. My shoulders were always weak. But the thing is, there's a big difference between my shoulders and my chest. My chest is simply lacking in actual muscle mass. My shoulders, on the other hand, are actually very developed. I have thick, solid muscle on them. The thing about them is I have a very narrow frame. My actual skeletal frame, my shoulder width, is so narrow it's not even funny. So if you were to actually feel my shoulders, how the density in the muscle, actually analyze them, I actually have a lot of shoulder mass. I have a lot of mass to my deltoids, and they're fairly well developed. The issue is my frame's so narrow that I need to double time them to compensate and make up for that, whereas most people who have a normal width or an exceptionally wide frame can add very little mass to their delts and it'll already look like they have massively huge shoulders, when in fact it's just how wide their frame is. So that's been the biggest issue. My frame's so narrow that it actually hides it and makes it so I have to double time my shoulders just to compensate. That and the fact that I want to make something very clear. In the off season, my arms tend to hold the most weight out of my upper body, and the excess body fat and the excess water weight I gain goes right to my arms and makes them blow up. And it makes my physique look like I'm all arms. You guys have all heard the comments. It makes me look like I'm out of proportion. They dwarf my shoulders and chest. The thing is, when I actually diet down, if you watch my vault series or any pre-contest video, once I shed the body fat and water weight, my arms kind of slim down a little bit to a healthy level. They don't lose actual muscle, but they're not so overbearing, and my shoulders tend to pop out a lot more along with my chest, and everything looks a lot more proportioned. That's something to remember. So that's a little fun tidbit about me and my shoulder development personally. Now, one thing I want to touch on is my absolute favorite exercise of all exercises, and that's the shoulder press. The shoulder press is key for building up your front delt. Okay, the front deltoid is the head of the shoulder that gives you that big old pop, that mountaintop when you hit that front double bicep. It gives you that rounded overlook when you're standing from the side. It just gives you that full-on beastly round-shouldered look, particularly in the front, that high mountaintop when you hit that front double bicep. It's so important to have these built up, of course. Now there's three heads to the shoulder. There's the front delt, the side delt, and the rear delt. Now, of course, there's technical names for all of them. There's the interior delt, posterior delt, etc. But I'm not going to get into the technical names because that's just going to confuse you, and there's no need to even get that down. All you need to know is that there's the front head, the side head, and the rear head, and they each serve a purpose. For right now, we're going to target the front head. So the key to building up your front delts is the shoulder press. What you want to start off with doing is finding a seat that's obviously vertical as opposed to being horizontal like a bench press. Now, a lot of these shoulder press stations are going to give you seats that are set to a 90-degree angle more or less, and you can't adjust them. There's nothing you can do about them. What I personally like to do is find a seat that you can adjust, particularly with dumbbell shoulder pressing, and actually set it back a little bit more of an incline as opposed to just being straight up and down. Whereas this is almost a 90-degree angle, I'll have mine actually at like an 80-degree angle. And this will allow you to sit back a little bit. It kind of protects your back a little bit more. And it'll actually still allow you to target your shoulders without turning it into an incline press. But we'll get into that later. For now, find a seat that's vertical, more or less 90 degrees, and that's how you're going to kick it off. Well, like I've discussed in all my other videos, the key to posture is always butt out, chest out. We've talked about this. Don't worry about what shape your back or spine should be in, because then you get confused when you hear one person tell you your back should be straight and then you see another person lifting with a slight natural arch in their back. Okay, both terms are correct, but it's going to confuse you. Focus on your butt out, your chest out all the time. And that's how your posture should be in almost every single exercise you do, no matter the muscle group. So the key to sitting down, obviously, is feet planted on the ground. The width isn't too big of a deal. Just outside of hip width, I would say. Make sure your butt is planted against the seat. Alright, the back of your butt, your lumbar should be planted firmly against the backrest, and the top of your back, your traps, should be planted firmly against the backrest of the seat. This is going to allow a slight natural arch in my back, ever so slight, and this is going to ultimately allow me to drive the weight without injuring my back. Because it's very important. As soon as you start sliding forward, that's when you start applying pressure to your spinal cord. That's when you start driving with your hips. And there's a million and one things you can throw off, tweak, damage, pull, strain, break. you can hurt yourself and injure yourself and throw yourself out of the game for a long time. Not to mention, as soon as you push your butt forward, that changes your position. That ultimately changes the entire exercise from a shoulder press to whatever you're moving into, an incline press maybe. And all of a sudden, the technique you're using for shoulder press becomes dangerous when it's applied to something else. So make sure your butt's planted against that backrest. Your butt should be in the corner of the seat. And the top of your back, your trap should be right against that backrest as well. Butt out, chest out, straight back. Keep in mind where you grab the bar is going to determine how far in or out your elbows go, and that's going to make a big difference. The wider you grab the bar, the more forced outward your elbows will become. All of a sudden your elbows are way out to either side of you. The closer you grab the bar, the farther forward your elbows can come, and you can keep your elbows in front of you, which is what you want to do. And that's what I'm about to demonstrate. The biggest difference between doing this exercise correctly and efficiently and doing it incorrectly and wasting your time. The most common mistake I see people make with shoulder pressing, the reason why your delts aren't growing, the reason why you feel a good pump in the gym and you're moving up in weight and you're putting some heavy weight up on the shoulder press, but your delts just are not growing, is you're using a wide grip. So many people grip the bar wide like a shoulder press. You'll see it all the time. And what happens with this is it causes your elbows to go down almost in back of you. Now your arms are out completely to your side. Your arms are making a nice straight line with your shoulders, and that's not right. You don't want your arms to be on either side of you. You don't want your elbows to be out on either side of you like you're airing out your armpits, okay? You don't want a wide grip, because what a wide grip does is it incorporates all the supporting muscles of your shoulder along with your traps, your back, your triceps. It brings in every single supporting muscle group, and most importantly, it puts all the pressure right onto your rotator cuff. It brings the pressure from your muscle onto your joint when your elbows are out to either side of you and they're going back. It's going to put all the pressure in your joint, ruin your rotator cuffs, and you're not going to be isolating your front delt because all your supporting muscles are helping out. You can feel the difference when you even just hold the bar in front of you. Next time you're in the gym, try this. Hold the bar up with your elbows out to either side and really pay attention to what muscles you feel activating and helping hold that bar up. Right now I can feel it. I can feel my back tensing up, my traps, all the heads on my delt, my triceps, everything. I can feel every muscle group tensing up to try to support this bar. That shows that your front delts are no longer the only muscle working. What you want to do is use that closer grip like we discussed, just outside of shoulder width. You're going to cause your elbows to come forward. And when your elbows are forward, now try it. Where do you feel all the tension? Right in your front delts. You can feel it. And you can even see it just in the movement. It's all right in my front delt. Wherever your elbows are pointing, whichever direction, is where the tension is going to be. So throughout here, they're pointing to the side. That means your side delt, your traps, everything right in line in them is going to be supporting them. If they're out here towards your front, the only thing they're pointing at is your front delt. A good safe haven for beginners, a good fail-safe, would be to bring the bar no lower than your lip, because any lower than that does put your joints at more risk. From here to here, from here up is going to be 110% your front delt contracting. So a good safe haven is to go right down to your lip. But once you become more advanced, once you get used to the lift, going all the way down to your clavicle is not a bad thing. In fact, I use it currently. I've been competing for 6 or 7 years or so. I'll bring it all the way down. Again, keep my elbows in. This is going to allow me to drive up, pushing with my elbows, which is going to put all the pressure right into my front delts. I go right down, push up. Remember, guys, shoulders are a small muscle group. Less is more. Slow negatives is key with shoulders since they're such a small muscle group. Explode up. Flex those delts the entire time. That's what's going to target it. Remember, the wide grip is supporting muscles. It brings all your other muscles in, puts pressure in your joints. And the other thing is, some people ask, my head's in the way of the bar. It's because you're using a wide grip. When you have a wide grip, all of a sudden the bar's put in the middle of you. You have to move your head out of the way. What happens when you do that? You automatically sit back, turns it into an incline press. With a closer grip, your elbows are right in front of you. You can keep your head straight, you can keep your back straight, you can keep your posture straight. Let the bar come down in front of you, all shoulders. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helped. If it didn't, if I missed anything, please contact me on facebook.com/NickWrightBodybuilding, or just go to Facebook, type in Nick Wright Bodybuilding, like the page, hit me with a comment. In fact, share your videos, share your pictures, use it to help get yourself out there if you have any. or tweet me at Nicholas M. Wright at Twitter. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Subscribe now. Thanks for watching.